It's 7:52 in the morning at a bakery in Munich, and Sarah is 3 months into her move to Germany. She orders a coffee and a pretzel. The woman behind the counter doesn't smile. No, how's your morning? No small talk, just a flat €2.50 and a handout for the change. Sarah pays, mutters thanks, and walks out feeling like she just got scolded for something she didn't do. By the time she gets to her desk, she's short with a coworker over nothing. That flat, 30-second interaction just cost her the whole morning. Here's the thing, 20 minutes later, a guy named Mike walks into that same bakery, orders the same pretzel, gets the same flat expression from the same woman behind the counter. He smiles anyway, says thanks, and walks out already thinking about something else entirely. Same cashier, same tone, same morning, completely different outcome. The variable wasn't the German woman behind the counter. It was what each of them decided to do with 2 seconds of eye contact that cost absolutely nothing either way. I'm Justin. I've lived in Germany for over 12 years now, and on this channel I usually break down what things actually cost here versus back in the States. But today's video is not about rent or health insurance. It's about the one cost almost nobody talks about, the emotional tax you pay every single day depending on how you choose to react to people, and why the fix for it happens to be completely free. If you're new here, subscribe, because we get into the real numbers on this channel, not tourist brochure guesses. Every American who moves here eventually says some version of the same thing. Germans are cold, blunt, negative. You ask someone how their weekend was and they actually tell you in detail, including the part where it was bad. You hold a door and get a nod instead of a parade. The myth is that this adds up to rudeness, that people here just have a bad attitude. Here's the more honest version. Before I correct that myth, it's worth admitting there's a real upside to what looks like coldness. Directness here isn't a personality flaw, it's closer to an operating system. Nobody's going to smile at you and then quietly overcharge you. Customer service won't perform warmth it doesn't feel just to upsell you on something you don't need. When a German tells you your project idea has a problem, they're not being cruel, they're saving you the time and money of finding out the hard way later. There's an honesty economy here, and it's worth something. I'd rather get the real answer with no smile than a fake smile with a hidden fee attached. But the myth versus reality gap still leaves a real cost sitting on the table, and it's worth walking through in a few pieces because this is a finance channel after all. First, there's the actual medical cost of chronic low-grade stress, and it's not small. Germany's public health insurance system quietly pays out billions of euros a year in stress-related sick leave and burnout treatment, including multi-week rehabilitation, stays that a doctor can prescribe when someone's nervous system has simply had enough. That money comes from everyone's paycheck contributions, roughly 14 to 16% split between you and your employer. Every unresolved bad mood that spirals into chronic stress is, quite literally, a line item the whole system pays for. Second, there's the relationship and career cost of letting a rough interaction set your tone for the day. In the US, that often shows up as a therapy bill, somewhere between $100 and $250 a session if you're paying out of pocket. In Germany, therapy is largely covered by that same public insurance, but the real cost isn't the copay. It's the weeks or months of strained friendships, snapped at coworkers, and missed opportunities that happen while you're stewing over something that, in hindsight, wasn't personal at all. Third, and this is the part I actually want you to sit with, choosing to be kind back costs €0 and $0, not discounted, not on sale, free. Compare that to the size of the wellness industry that's sprung up specifically to treat the damage caused by chronic negativity. Self-help books, retreats, apps, subscriptions, an industry worth tens of billions globally every year, all trying to sell people back something that was available to them for free the entire time. The choice to just be decent to the next person regardless of what they give you first. And here's a stat worth sitting with too. Researchers who study gratitude and small acts of kindness consistently find measurable drops in stress hormones and measurable upticks in reported life satisfaction, sometimes within days of starting a simple daily practice. Not a guarantee, not a miracle cure, but a real, replicable effect from something that costs nothing but 2 minutes and a decision. Now here's where it gets interesting. There's an old German saying, hard shell, soft core. It's usually used about people, and it's more accurate than the cold German stereotype gives credit for. The flat tone at the bakery isn't hostility, it's just the absence of performance. Give it time, show up consistently kind without expecting anything back, And you'll find the relationships that form here are often deeper and more loyal than the instant, surface-level friendliness you get in a lot of American service interactions, the kind that's warm for 30 seconds and forgets you exist the moment you're out the door. If you're actually trying to build a daily habit around this instead of just white-knuckling your way through bad moods, the tool I've personally used is a simple gratitude and self-love journal. 5 minutes a day, guided prompts so you're not staring at a blank page wondering what to write. It costs less than a coffee and a pretzel, and unlike the pretzel, it actually pays you back. I'll drop the link below. So back to Sarah. A few months later, same bakery, same flat-toned cashier. Except now Sarah spent a few minutes each morning writing down one thing she's grateful for before she even leaves the apartment. She gets the same €2.50, the same lack of a smile, and this time it just doesn't land the same way. Not because the cashier changed, because Sarah stopped paying an emotional tax on a transaction that was never actually hostile to begin with. So if you're moving here or you've been here for years and you're still getting knocked sideways by the directness, here's what actually works. 1. Stop interpreting flat affect as a personal insult. It almost never is. It's cultural texture, not a verdict on you. 2. Do one small kind thing every day regardless of what you get back. Hold the door, say thank you and mean it. It costs nothing and the return compounds. 3. Write down one good thing daily, even just a sentence. It takes less time than waiting in line at the bakery. 4. Give people here more than one interaction before you decide who they are. The hard shell usually isn't the whole story. Sarah didn't change Munich. Munich is still going to hand her exact change with a flat expression tomorrow morning. What changed was the one-line item in her day that was always free to control. That's the real price of Germany nobody puts on a spreadsheet, and it's the one you get to set yourself. If this helped, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.